Quick disclaimer before we hop into the video, everybody's experience with crowdfunding will be different. Some of you may get lucky on the first try and reach your goals, and some of you may not. The content covered in this video is based off of our experiences with crowdfunding and what we believe to be the best practices. In the past 2 films that we shot, we have generated roughly a few $1,000s for our films in crowdfunding. And in this video, we're going to cover the methods that we use to generate those funds to create the films that you've seen from us. If you are getting funds for your films whenever you're asking for them, we found it boils down to only a couple of things. Let's get into it. We understand as indie filmmakers, funding is one of the hardest things to get when making our films. Of course, there are a lot of ways to generate funds for your films, like through film grants, but we're going to focus mostly on crowdfunding as that's the one that we use the most. There are tons of crowdfunding websites that you can use like Indiegogo, GoFundMe, and Kickstarter, but we like to use GoFundMe considering you don't have to reach your goal in order to actually have access to the funds that you receive. Now, you need to understand exactly what you're doing when you're crowdfunding. You are literally asking people that you have connections to for their money. If you're human, you know that generally everybody is selfish with their money and they don't want to give it away. So what are you offering to the people that give you money? A film, of course. Though a lot of you haven't made a whole lot of films yet, or if you have, then probably haven't made very good films. So how on earth are people gonna know if the film that you make is gonna be any good or not, let alone give you $1? Do you even know what to do with that dollar whenever you get it? People don't trust you enough to make a good film with their hard-earned money yet, which is why you need to build your credibility. We as filmmakers have produced films that are pretty well known in our local community. Therefore, we have people that trust us to make a good film with their money. The more credibility you have, the more people are willing to help you produce your next film. So how do you get credibility? Well, obviously it's by making better films, and that leads me to my next point, investing in yourself. Yes, you can produce quite a decent image with current phones these days. However, you can't expect people to give you money if you aren't willing to put money on yourself. This is going to require you to put in some money for your own films to raise the production value. Rent or buy some better gear, DSLRs, lights, a stabilizer, maybe a slider or a dolly, and create something better for people to see. Then, if you effectively raise the production value of your film with the money that you used, you can then ask for the same amount of money that you used on that film to fund your next film. If you made a film that resonates with people enough, then reaching at least 50% of your goal for your next film should be pretty easy, considering people want to see more from you. A lot of indie filmmakers that we see trying to fund their films just put a log line or a couple pages of the script that they wrote on the page of their crowdfunding website without showing any previous work. Then when they open their donation pages, it's absolute crickets. That is not enough. In the indie filmmaking space where you and I are, people generally don't give money for ideas unless rarely that idea is absolutely mind-blowing that people are dying to see. Final films and results are what are going to get people to help you out. The best crowdfunding campaigns are the ones that show proof of concept shorts. If you can produce a short scene that completely blows your audience away, then people will want to see more from you and will in turn support your film. So invest in yourself, create a good film, both story and production value wise, show that film at a couple festivals, and then showcase that film in your next crowdfunding campaign. Let's take a look at an example from a bigger film production company, Rocket Jump, when they funded their very popular web series, Video Game High School. When they ran their crowdfunding campaign for the first season, they ended up raising roughly $273,725 through crowdfunding. You're probably thinking, well duh, they already had a large following. Well, exactly. Now, if you think about it a little more, you realize they didn't just have an idea. They had hundreds of short films and videos that people absolutely loved, which built their credibility extremely high with a large audience, which then resulted in a large yield from their crowdfunding campaign. Then when they opened their crowdfunding campaign for season 2, they asked for the exact same amount of money that they spent on the first season, with which that goal was absolutely shattered with a total of $808,341, because they showed credibility with their first season first. Of course, we're not on that level of production, but do you see how creating your own films first is what helps you get more money for your next films? When we made our first budgeted film, we spent roughly $2,000 to $3,000 without help. And of course, people loved it. Then when we made our next film, we asked for that same amount of money to match the quality of our last film, which then helped us reach above 50% of our goal, which got us enough to produce the film. I don't recommend that you spend a ton of money right off the bat, of course. Look at what you're going to need in terms of your gear, your locations, food and crafty, and all the other expenses that you're gonna have, and then budget from there. Now, here's where I'm gonna lay some hard truths. The majority of people think that their ideas are better than they really are. They believe they deserve to get a lot of money when they ask for it when they haven't shot a single film in their life. And then they use this lack of money and support from other people as the reason for why they haven't gotten started. Either you find a way to make a small amount of money to up your production value, get a part-time job or something, or stop complaining, start small with what you have, and create something. Don't be lazy like most people. It really is as simple as that. If you're still complaining and finding excuses to not start after hearing this, then it might be best for you to not follow this career path. All right, so there you have it, a quick rundown of how you can crowdfund your films more effectively. Sorry for getting so blunt in the last minute there. But if you want to learn more about how to actually create more cinematic films before you put money into your next film, be sure to check out our brand new $27 mini filmmaking course where we'll take you from no experience to an expert cinematographer in just 10 days. Link in the top right corner and in the first link in the description below. Other than that, if you have any more questions, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.